Recruiter here to review your resumes. The resume we have up first is a data analyst that has not had a job in over 2 years, so they are struggling to get interviews. And what we need for a data analyst is right up here. These are the qualifications that we need. Now, before I go into them, I want to let you all know I review more than just tech resumes, but the tech market is in the dumpster, and that dumpster was sent to the bottom of the ocean. So like 90% of the resumes sent to me are full stack software engineers and data analysts, but I do more than that. I do accountants and other stuff. Accountants, HR, customer support, directors, all that good stuff. So what do we need for a data analyst? Well, we need degree, the industry. I want to know what industry you're in. SQL, data visualization, Tableau, Power BI, Looker. Influencing stakeholders, right? I don't want to see that you communicated with them. I don't want to see that you waved at them in the hall. I want to see that you can talk to them and change their mind. And I want to see that you can explain technical concepts to non-technical people. Doesn't have to be stakeholders, but ideally stakeholders. This is massive. In fact, this is one of the most evergreen skills you can ever have, is the ability to explain technical concepts to non-technical people. Your career will thank you if you can do that. Then, how you solved a problem with data, not what the data is. This is the biggest mistake that every single data analyst makes, is they try to tell me that they used a Monte Carlo simulation to get a 13.5% increase on the Fruit Loops, which equals to a flop, flop, flip, flop. And none of that matters. That's all kind of gibberish. We need to see what you did with the data, not how you got the data. I also need to see MS Excel, so macros, pivot tables, VLOOKUP, Word, Python, R, multiple projects and deadlines, and nice to have is cloud, AI, and security clearances. So, since this person has been unemployed for over 2 years, I am expecting this to be a bad resume. And for the record, when people use my format, they get well, not just format, when they use everything, because formatting is like 30% of your resume grade. When they use everything I teach, they end up getting a 1 interview per 7 application ratio, which is how you can tell how good your resume is. But if you're getting a 1 interview per 50 applications, you're actually doing well. But my methods give you a 1 interview per 7 applications, with a little asterisk because there's a big market, but 1 in 7 is what I average get people. So 20 seconds on the clock. That is the only amount of time that recruiters have. If we cannot find it in 20 seconds, your resume is yeeted and deleted. So let's see if I can find it, which I probably can't, and go. This doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. Okay. Achieved a 91% accuracy in forecasting stock performance by senators by developing and pairing. This is a hot dog, variable testing and hot dog, stock performance, hot dog, and created a duvet data set. Hot dog time. I understand why this is not getting interviews. This person is stated, so this is what they wrote to me. I have a lot of professional experience, but I've gone through 2 career changes. The first in America History Academia, an incomplete doctorate at a top 10 university. Well, if it's incomplete, then it doesn't matter that it was at the top 10. This is my second career change. I'm pivoting from being a budgeting analyst for government into data analytics, ideally private sector, and have not held a full-time job since fall 2024. Okay, so almost 2 years. I was incorrect because I am recording this in June, so technically this is almost 2 years. I completed my MS in data analytics, graduated in May. Okay, good. And I'm looking for a full-time data analytics position. Thank you. So first things first, I don't think this doesn't read like you're a data analyst. This has literally nothing I have that I can use. In this entire thing, nothing shows me that you're a data analyst. And now you're about to say, hold on, Lee, what are you talking about? Power BI, Microsoft Excel, SQL, Python, it's right here. What are you talking about? It's right here. This is exactly what you're looking for. Why doesn't that count? Well, because there is a difference between a keyword, which is what the hiring team needs and is a skill that the hiring team needs you to have, which is right up here. These are keywords, and a qualification. And a qualification is what recruiters are hunting for. There is a misnomer. People think we are keyword hunting. We are qualification hunting. And what a qualification is a keyword plus, the plus is important, how you used that keyword, the non-technical reasons you use that keyword, or the business reasons that are non-technical, so the why you used it, and where you used it. If it is not the what, the how, the why, and the where, it does not count on your resume. So this is why this skills section does not count, because skills sections do not tell me how you did it. They do not tell me the non-technical reasons you did it, and they do not tell me where you did it. Same reason executive summaries don't count. They don't tell you where you did it. So the only reason you would want a summary is if you are switching industries, and I don't mean you just got a degree. I mean, you went from basket weaving to skydiving instructor. Those are when I would need a summary. Or you went from a director at Google to trying to apply to McDonald's, right? As a cashier. That is the level of difference. This does not warrant a summary. Or you are explaining a non-H-1B or OPT visa, or explaining that you have an I-140. That is what you need to explain. Or you are relocating. Those are the only times you actually need a summary. Now, the problem with this is there's too many hot dogs and not enough hamburgers. So, what I mean by that is I want you to imagine that you're hungry, right? You go to a restaurant and you're like, I'd like a cheeseburger. And the waiter goes, is that all y'all want, honey? And you say, yep, that is all I would like is a cheeseburger. And they say, all right, then I'll get you that right away. So they go over to the kitchen and they bring you back and they say, here's your cheeseburger, sir. I went to like 13 different accents. I'm not doing the accents. And the waiter says, here is your cheeseburger. But the waiter did not give you a cheeseburger. They gave you a hot dog with cheese on it. And you would be like, excuse me, what is this? And they say, well, a hot dog has meat just like a hamburger. A hot dog has meat that is wrapped in buns just like a hamburger. A hot dog can have cheese just like a hamburger. So when you wanted a hamburger with cheese, what you actually meant to say was a hot dog with cheese. And you would look at them like they were insane and you would walk away without paying. And that is the exact same thing that is happening here. Is achieved a 91% accuracy in forecasting stock outperformance by senators by developing a competing blah, 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 blah. That is not data analyst stuff. That is not Python. That is not SQL. That is not data visualization. That is not influencing stakeholders. Thus, this is a hot dog. So this project shows me 0 things I need. And remember, you cannot use this. You have to put it in the bullet points. So nothing in here counts. This is a terrible data analyst resume. In fact, I have to go all the way down here. Presented dynamic dashboards, Tableau, demonstrating the findings at Sunny Platforms Graduate Symposium. This is the first time I actually see a keyword, much less a qualification, is down here. Except, remember, you did not write this in qualification format because I don't want to see that you presented the findings. I want to see that you can influence them. I want to see that you can explain complex topics, because you know what? You could have gone to this symposium in front of these non-technical stakeholders and said, I improved model performance XG boost by encoding categorical variables and testing covariables through hyperparameter tuning. And they would be like, okay, cool. No. So this doesn't even show the qualification. So this resume is awful and needs to be yeeted and deleted. This entire resume needs to be deleted. I don't think I see any single thing that is salvageable in here. Now, that doesn't mean you did not get good projects, right? It just means you're not explaining them correctly. Also, you need to use this formatting. This is my formatting. You need to use it. This is the best way to format your resume, with it 1 or 2 exceptions, which is high-level directors or job hoppers. But as long as you're not a high-level director, and I'm talking like 25 years experience director or a job hopper, this is the format you want to use. If you don't have work history, you replace it with projects, because this is a nightmare to read. This is a nightmare to read, and you don't even show your degree, which your education should be up at the top. So that's all I can do for this resume, but this resume needs to be deleted and start again, because there's nothing salvageable about it that I can see. I don't think there's any sentence I can even keep. So fix your formatting, have bullet points that are actually related to this stuff, And before we go to the next resume, if anybody ever needs help, they can join my live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST on YouTube and twitch.tv/AtlasHeadhunter. That is where I review resumes. And if you want your resume reviewed, you can send it to me there. And to my members who get access to videos a little bit early, thank you very much for supporting this channel. I am a small channel and your membership helps me a lot. So thank you very much. I really appreciate your support. And if anybody wants to be a member as well, they can join in the link below. But let's go to the next resume. This is a resume of an AI engineer intern. We do not know their ratio because they have not applied to enough jobs. They have gotten at least an interview, but again, your goal should be to, like, once you've applied to like 150 to 200 jobs, that is when your true ratio happens, because that's just how kind of statistics work, is we need a high sample size. So what do we need for an AI engineer intern? We need degree, basic software engineer experience. So Python, TypeScript, JavaScript, React, SQL, Git, Cloud API. Do we need all of those? No, but we need some of them. Then again, I do not need all of these. I just need some of these, which is basic AI. So AI, ML, RAG, Gen AI, Agentic AI, AI, ML, AI tools, LangChain or LangGraph. I think LangGraph is a little more impressive than LangChain, but again, you don't need all of those. You need some of them. And then I need to see that you can explain complex topics to non-technical people. That is going to be a running theme. Everybody needs to learn how to do that. If you can do that, you are going to get a lot more jobs and have a lot more successful career. And then take direction and criticism and work well with others. That is an intern specific thing. Intern is possibly your first real job, and they want to make sure that they say, hey, intern, just saying your code is bad, I need you to redo it. And you don't look them in the eye, flip the monitor, and run away crying, because sometimes people do that. So I was petting my dog off in the corner. So he's sitting down over there. All right. 20 seconds on the clock. And let's see if I can find it. So let's go. Okay. Formatting is a little off, but not the worst. Built a full stack. Okay. Spring Boot database, implemented immutable reliable data exchange. Okay. But why is it important that it had that to produce code to scale across applications? Again, some of this is needed. Develop and contribute features, internal training within an agile. Okay, good. Testing models, don't care about. Expert structures and integrated. Built an end-to-end A400 baseline. All right, and time. Right, so this is in Egypt. I have gotten people jobs in Egypt before. I have gotten people jobs in the US, Canada, Mexico, the EU, the UK, Singapore, I believe, Africa. I don't remember which part of Africa because I know Africa is huge. And there was one more that I am forgetting and I don't remember what it was. But I've gotten people jobs globally. But I will say it's not a 1-to-1 ratio. My advice is like 90% effective. So the first thing I'd recommend is you change the format to this. This is not the worst formatting, right? But it still would be better. The second thing is, I don't see how this is AI. I just don't see any AI here. Because this is a bunch of hot dogs. In fact, your first time mentioning AI is all the way down here. Now, I do see the AI degree, but the degree doesn't count for AI. I mean, it does, but it does. You know what I mean? Like, I still need the sentences that say it. NLP. The only thing I see here is NLP. So I'm going to need you to rework some of these bullet points. I don't think they're the worst, but they could be a little better. Because again, built a full stack web application. Okay, good. Using Spring Boot. But I want to see Python, TypeScript, JavaScript, or React, right? Implementing RESTful API for what? Why? Why is this important? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Design database schemas and applied OOP. OOP is good, but the rest of this is a hot dog. Like, why was it important that you had maintainable code that scales across application workflow? What was the business reason to do that? Now, I'm aware this is an internship. I'm aware this could be a project, but there is still a point in doing it. And you have to tell me what that point is. But I like the Agile, right? I actually think this is good. Features an e-learning platform used for employee training within an agile team environment. This at least shows that you can work well with others. But again, I want to know more about why you did this, and I want to see that you can take direction and criticism. So I'm missing a little bit of the AI. I'm missing a little bit of the basic software engineering stuff, and I'm missing work well with others, and I'm missing direction and criticism, and I'm missing explaining complex topics to non-technical people. Because remember, skill sections, look at all of this. Look at this wonderful skill sections. Skill sections don't matter. They need to be in the bullet points, and you need to show me how. You cannot put it over here. So that is the best I can do for this resume. Next resume. This is a resume of a full stack software engineer. So what do we need for a full stack software engineer? Well, we need what I said before. We kind of already know what this is. Wait, no, I haven't done it this stream. I did it last video. So what do we need? My bad. Is degree, TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. Look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. But Lee, TypeScript means I don't care. Almost every single job is asking for TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. If you do not have it, you are probably going to get yeeted and deleted. So TypeScript, JavaScript, HTML, CSS. RESTful APIs or REST APIs, SQL, any of them, cloud, any of them. Are there more clouds than AWS, GCP, and Azure? I swear somebody told me there were 4 once or 5 once, but I don't know of any others beyond AWS and GCP and Azure. I know for sure nobody else will know of them, but like, is there a 4th or 5th large cloud provider? Let me know in the comments. I'm curious. Backend, so Python, C#.NET, or Java. That plane is very loud. React, React.js, Angular, Node.js, Vue.js, DevOps, CI/CD, Agile, Git, and extra credit for the scale of what you've done, AI tools, and cross-functional. So let's see if I can find that in 20 seconds. And go. Doesn't matter. Starbucks platform, build a full stack system with what is that? Doesn't count. Nothing here. This doesn't count. Design RESTful APIs and MongoDB schemas and implemented CRUD. Okay, but why did you do that? Containerized. Why do I care that you containerized? Developed the backend core using OOP principles. Okay, maybe. And time. Cool. I don't know what you did. This resume would get yeeted and deleted. So remember, summaries don't matter. None of this matters. Remember, technical skill sections don't matter. Cannot use any of this. And then these are some very, very, very bad bullet points. What is JW2? I'm sure that's probably some kind of JavaScript something. But is it up here? No, doesn't matter. So this doesn't count. And again, you did not tell me how you did it. You built a full stack application with what? I don't know. You didn't tell me. Remember, these don't count. Containerize the system with Docker. I am asking everybody here, have you ever seen a job description that said must containerize a system using Docker? I don't think I have ever seen any job description that has said that. Not a single one has ever said containerize the system using Docker. Not a single one. I may want Docker because it can be part of that, but this is completely irrelevant. Why do I care that you containerized it? What importance does containerize do? The answer is, I don't know because you didn't tell me. Develop the backend course using OOP and Solid Design. Okay, but what did you use? You know what I don't see in any of this? I don't see a backend. I don't see a front end. All I know is that you've done RESTful APIs and OOP. That's it. And maybe MongoDB. I don't see SQL. But Lee, MongoDB means I don't care. Do I have MongoDB up there? No. No, I don't. And there's a reason for that. It needs to be specific. You can't... You cannot fill your resume with hot dogs. This resume has entirely hot dogs. And in addition to the hot dogs, they don't show me how they did what they did. It doesn't matter that you containerize Docker. It doesn't matter that you code explained or whatever, or analysis. What matters is the non-technical reasons you did it. What was the point? Do you think you can go to your boss's boss that can't turn on their computer and say, and they're going to ask you, what did you do this week? And if you say, I implemented CLI codes for explanation, debugging, and Arabic documentation generation. They're going to look at you slack-jawed and say, okay, cool, what did you do this week? Nothing in this resume works. You need to delete it all and start again. Not a single thing. This resume is almost entirely blank. And again, you cannot put in hot dogs. It doesn't matter that it's implied. It doesn't matter that it's something that you would like to do. It doesn't matter if something means something else. What matters is that you actually have it. Otherwise, this resume is blank. Next resume. This is a resume of an embedded software systems engineering intern. Kind of. This person is currently like a software engineer intern, but they're trying to go more towards mechatronics and robotics. But then they also kind of want to do embedded. So this might be a successful resume for the one particular thing that they're looking for, but I am judging this only based on mechatronics, okay? So, only based on embedded and systems engineering intern. If it's not this, it doesn't count for this. So this may be the best robotics or the best mechatronics or the best quant intern, but I'm not judging it based on that. So, what do we need for an embedded software systems engineering intern? We need Python, C, C++, Linux, RTOS, shell scripting, industry type of product, education, the ability to work well with others, and take direction and criticism. I swear to you, take direction and criticism, work well with others is so important. That is like, even if you barely have anything tech related, the ability to work well with others they are going to love that. So, this person actually has success with this, although their sample size is not high enough, so I don't know if I really want to count it, but there is at least people that are moving forward with this. They've not read the guide yet, which you should. My guide is in the description below. It's probably the best thing I've ever written in my life. They said they're a U.S. citizen, university student, 3.5. They learned about me from Coding Jesus stream. So shout out to Coding Jesus. I was on a stream recently. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. So maybe this is the best quant dev. Maybe this is the best that, but I'm judging it entirely on embedded. So 20 seconds on the clock. Let's see what I can find and go. Okay. This doesn't matter. This I kind of like. Reduce latency for remote driving. I actually do. No, hot dog, although that might be a very specific one. Oh, love this. Utilize no, and time. Okay. I can actually see why this is getting interviews. Despite the fact is it has almost nothing involving embedded. This might not be an embedded engineer, but I want to highlight some stuff that I like about this. So, first things first, let's not highlight what I like. Let's highlight what I don't like. We're going to be mean first. This doesn't matter. Relevant coursework is never relevant. Second, formatting, please use my formatting. Third, what I do like is these extracurriculars are pretty good. I actually never thought about putting an extracurricular for a specific intern here, but I actually kind of like that. You might want to put another bullet point that put these extracurriculars, because you know what shows you can work well with others is being in these clubs, right? Especially the poker club. Like, I actually think the poker club is more valuable than the competitive and the other one, is because a poker club, what you have to do is you have to play a high stakes game with people, probably weekly, right? And you know what you have to do in that high stakes game? You have to manage your emotions, and then you will lose, and you don't want to rage quit, because if you rage quit, they're not going to play with you anymore. So I actually really like the poker club and think that should probably be first. The club AI is a little too broad, and the competitive programming club can probably go in. So I really like that part. Then we go to here, and again, what is reduced latency and improved safety? Why is that important? I don't know. But you know what is? Remote driving apparatus. I wish I knew what apparatus it was, but remote driving would be the type of product. And it does tell me a little bit about industry, although I want a little bit more. And then redesigned based vehicle positioning. So again, I'm judging this on embedded, this is not what I would want for embedded. But this I really like. Like, this is a case of the reason they're getting some interviews, even though the sample size is not enough, is because they're showing the non-technical stuff. And while they definitely need the technical stuff, which you need to add, please add that. That will definitely increase your ratio. I want to highlight how successful the non-technical stuff is, right? Delivered technical walkthroughs, phenomenal. You don't need to tell me how many, but phenomenal. Delivering technical walkthroughs to a large amount of people and showing success shows that you can work well together with others and you are able to explain complex topics to a non-technical audience. Love that. Walkthroughs to engineers and researchers, which enable the adoption of new remote testing capabilities. Cool. You told me you succeeded and granted feedback. Oh, garnered feedback. Perfect to improve remote driver operation position kit. So this is one of the... People say recruiters like keyword hunt, and they're wrong. This is one of the very few resumes where you literally just need to insert keywords. I love how you put in, how you talk to other people, and how you took direction and criticism, and how you work with people. I think you did that fantastic. I'm missing the actual technical details. So I want you to go back to the drawing board on these, remove the numbers, and just make it a little bit simpler on the keywords themselves, the technical details, and I think this is going to be a gold standard resume. Please fix the formatting. But again, you can get a job in interviews with a bad format, and this is not even the worst format. I think it's a C-. So again, I actually really like a lot of this. So props. Next resume. This is a embedded software systems engineer intern. Now, I will give you the full disclosure is this is in Denmark, and like I said, I've gotten people jobs everywhere in the world except Denmark. My advice may not actually work in Denmark. You're going to ask me, well, Lee, why does it not work? And what do I do instead? And the answer to that is, I don't know. That's why it doesn't work. Denmark is weird. So I'm going to have to judge this as if this was a US role, and this would work in the US, Canada, Mexico, the EU, except Denmark, the UK, Africa, Egypt, Turkey, so many places, and Singapore, I think, but apparently not Denmark. So I'd like you to try to use my advice and see if maybe it works, but I'm a little sus to see. So Denmark, I'm sorry, people of Denmark. We're going to see if this person I can actually help, but everywhere else in the world, I work. So, embedded software systems engineer, we know what we need. Let's look at this. 20 seconds on the clock. And go. Okay, formatting is too crazy. Bachelor's of Science, good. Develop bindings from Rust. Don't really need that. SDK. This reads more like a software engineer. Okay, this is not relevant. Deploy TypeScript. Okay, hot dog. C++, there we go, and time. So, again, my problem with this is, A, you don't need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bullet points for this. So please, well, I guess you're in Dutch, so maybe you shouldn't use this formatting, but if you were in the US or anywhere else, use my formatting, because there's a lot of crazy stuff with this. And my big problem with this is it reads like a okay software engineer, right? Because SDK is something they could want, CI/CDs, Docker, but it doesn't read like embedded, because embedded is more like Python, C, C++, Linux, RTOS scripting. In fact, I can pull up the full-time roles for embedded. So, like, this is the stuff I would want for an embedded, not counting work together and criticism. This is the non-intern embedded one. So, like, any of the C's, Python, TCP, IP, real-time operating, Agile, Linux. I should have Linux on this one. The type of industry, and I don't really see it until here. And then again, my dog is morphing some reason. This doesn't really count for what I'm looking for. So, this would not work in the US, because it doesn't have anything I'm looking for. Like, that's my main problem, is I have to go all the way down to here Ignore my dog. There is somebody outside. Have to go down to here until we see C++, which is the first thing I actually need. And then again, these bullet points don't really show me they don't show me the non-technical reasons, and they don't show me that you can work together with other people or take direction and criticism. So in the US, this would not work. None of it would work in the US. In Dutchland, I don't know, maybe the Netherlands it'll work. But I guess try my things and see if it works again. I just haven't had enough people try it in the Netherlands. But yeah, I don't see how this would work for the US. Because there's just nothing here that would work for an embedded. This is pretty close to like an AI engineer, though, the SDK, the CI/CD, and the TypeScript and the AWS. So you actually have some good like software engineering stuff, but software engineering is not embedded, even though it is. it's not, but it is. What they're looking for is different enough. So I would break this into maybe 2 resumes, one with software engineer, one with embedded, but that's all I can do for this resume in this video. Thank you very much for watching. If anybody needs their resume reviewed, join the live stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 11 a.m. PST. That is how you have a chance to get your resume reviewed on twitch.tv/headlessheadhunter and right here on YouTube. And to my members, I just want to say thank you very much for watching and supporting this channel. They get access to videos a little bit early, and you can join and be a member down below. But thank you very much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I'm a small channel, and your support means a lot to me, so thank you. But that is it for this video. I will see you in the next one, and I'm going to help you get ahead of your job search. Later.